Hello everyone. Our question is a Scrum Master is not only a servant leader to the Scrum team and organization, it's also considered a management position. Which three activities describe what a Scrum Master manages as reflected by the Scrum Guide? Choose three options. Option A, reporting on the performance of the sprint. Option B, the way Scrum is understood and enacted within the organization. Option C, managing the capacity and utilization of each development team member. Option D, managing the process in which Scrum is applied. Option E, managing the product backlog items and work in the sprint backlog. Option F, removing organizational impediments that limits the team's progress and productivity. Correct answer is option B, D and option F. Question is Paul, a product owner of one of the Scrum teams, has been attending the daily Scrum. During the daily Scrum, the development team members have been reporting their daily work to Paul so that he is aware of their sprint progress and what each member is working on. What is the best action for the Scrum Master to take? Option A, ask Paul to stop attending the daily Scrum. Option B, coach Paul and development team members on the purpose of the Scrum events and let them figure out what to do in this situation. Option C, allow the Paul to participate in the daily Scrum as he is responsible for the success of the product. Option D, facilitate the daily Scrums to avoid any conflicts between the development team members and Paul. Correct answer is option D. Question is, an organization wants to apply Scrum to build a new product and has hired Steven to be the Scrum Master of three new teams that will build the first release. The organization is new to Scrum and asks Steven for advice on how to start. Which two things should Steven first advise? Option A, each Scrum team has its own product backlog with items only their team will be working on. Option B, one product backlog to represent all of the known work needed to be done for the product. Option C, three product owners, one for each Scrum team. Option D, having one product owner to be accountable for maximizing the flow of value throughout the development process and provide transparency on the overall progress. Correct answer is option B and option D. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Now the question is, according to the values of Scrum, which is the best way to create development teams? Option A, the product owner will create a skills matrix according to what is needed for the project and work with the technical leads to allocate resources to the team. Option B, work with the leadership team to allocate members according to skills, seniority, and experience to ensure that all development teams are balanced fairly. Option C, provide boundaries to the developers and allow them to self-organize into development teams. Correct answer is option C. Question is, a Scrum team has been working on a product for several iterations and has an average velocity of 55 units of done work per sprint. A second team will be added to work on the same product. What might be the impact on the original team? Option A, their velocity is likely not affected and will remain at 55. Option B, their velocity is likely to drop and be less than 55. Option C, their velocity is likely to rise and be more than 55. Correct answer is option B. Question is, a Scrum team has requested a hardening sprint to integrate the work produced in previous sprints and test before releasing. What three scenarios has likely occurred? Option A, the team's definition of done is not being adhered to during every sprint. Option B, the team's definition of done is weak or incomplete, causing a build-up of technical debt. Option C, the development team is having difficulties with the ability to regularly release during a sprint. Option D, hardening sprints are supported by the Scrum framework, so this is acceptable. Option E, Scrum has been customized in a suitable manner to make the previous work releasable. Correct answer is option A, B, and option C. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is, successful use of Scrum depends on how well people behave and act in ways that reflect the Scrum values. What can the value of openness affect? Option A, collaboration efforts. Option B, level of product quality. Option C, team member happiness. Option D, time to market. Option E, trust from stakeholders. Option F, all of the above. Correct answer is option F. Question is, what is management's role in Scrum? Option A, to provide the necessary environment and support needed as defined by the Scrum Guide by providing insights and resources that help the Scrum teams continue moving forward. Option B, identifying and removing people that are performing poorly. Option C, monitoring skills level of the development team. Option D, monitoring the development team's velocity. Correct answer is option A. Question is, what would likely happen if management only changed the organization's current terminology to fit Scrum without the proper understanding and support of Scrum as defined in the Scrum Guide? Option A, very little change will happen as the vocabulary in Scrum is specifically defined for implementing Scrum. Option B, the organizations may not realize the real benefits of Scrum as there would be no real change on the way the teams work. Option C, organizations may feel less stressed as the behaviors would remain familiar to management. Option D, all answers apply. Correct answer is option D. Question is, which statement best describes Scrum? Option A clearly defined methodology that defines the software development process. Option B, a manual for defining best practices for software development. Option C, a clearly defined and predictable process that follows the principles of computer science. Option D, a framework to address complex products in complex environments. Correct answer is option D. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is, stakeholders are only allowed to meet the Scrum team at sprint review. Options are true or false. Correct answer is option B, false. Question is, during your best and helping other Scrum team members demonstrates which of the following? Option A, value of commitment. Option B, increased revenue. Option C, increased profit. Option D, maximizing utilization. Option E, high performance. Correct answer is option A. Question is, the three pillars of empirical process control consist of option A, planning, inspection, adaptation. Option B, inspection, transparency, adaptation. Option C. Planning demonstration retrospective. Option D. Respect for people Kaizen eliminating waste. Correct answer is option B. Question is during sprint planning, the definition of done will help the development team forecast the amount of work selected from the product backlog deemed feasible to make done by the end of the sprint. Which two items best describe what done means? Option A. All the work needed to prepare the increment for user acceptance testing. Option B. All the work needed to prepare the increment for integration testing. Option C. Having an increment of working software that is potentially releasable to the end users. Option D. All the work performed as defined in the definition of done. Option E. All the work completed within the current skills and expertise in the development team. Correct answer is option C and option D. Question is, Steven, the Scrum Master, observes that one of the development team members is not attending the daily Scrum. The development team feels this is okay as they all sit in the same area and already have constant communication throughout the day. Which is the best action for Steven to take? Option A. Start running the daily Scrum and require all members to be in attendance. Option B. Talk to the development team member privately and tell him that he needs to be a team player. Option C. Ask the development team what value will result from having all team members present at the daily Scrum and what are the risks if members don't attend. Option D. The daily Scrum is owned by the development team and it is their responsibility to decide which team member must participate. Correct answer is option C. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is, by the end of the sprint, a product backlog item in the sprint backlog does not meet the team's definition of done. What two things should happen with the item? Option A. It will be inspected at the sprint review and if it is acceptable by the stakeholders, then include it in the increment. Option B. Do not include the item in the increment for the sprint. Option C. Split the item and add the estimation of the completed work to the current sprint so not to impact the velocity and add the undone work to the next sprint. Option D. Estimation. Estimate the remaining work needed to make it done and add it to the product backlog for the product owner to decide what to do with it. Correct answer is option B and option D. Question is, at the fifth sprint retrospective, the product owner mentions that he is surprised about the amount of technical debt that has built up in the system and that the product is not able to support an adequate number of users. Peter, the product owner, is upset that the product will need several more sprints to address the scalability issues in order to meet his expectations. What factors may have led to this? Option A. The Scrum team has not used the past sprint retrospectives effectively to inspect and adapt. Option B. The development team has not been paying enough attention to technical quality. Option C. The development team and the product owner are not having conversations around technical debt. Option D. The Scrum Master has not ensured that the Scrum team is transparent. Option E. All of the above. Option F. None of the above. Correct answer is option E. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is, Steven is a Scrum Master of a Scrum team that is new to Scrum. At the halfway point of the sprint, the product owner comes to Steven telling him that he is concerned the development team will not be able to complete the entire sprint backlog by the end of the sprint. What should Steven do in this situation? Option A. Motivate the development team to meet their commitment to the product owner. Option B. Coach the product owner that with complex software development, you cannot promise the entire scope that was forecast during sprint planning. As more is learned during the sprint, work may emerge that affects the sprint backlog. Option C. Advise the product owner that the development team owns the sprint backlog and it is up to them to meet their commitments. No one tells the development team how to turn product backlog into increments of potentially releasable functionality. Option D. Add more people to the development team to meet the product owner's expectations. Correct answer is option B. Question is, Steven is a Scrum Master on a new Scrum team. What would be the best way for him to determine if the product owner is interacting enough with the development team during a sprint? Option A. Check whether the product owner is actively engaged at the daily Scrum. Option B. Check whether the increment presented at the sprint review meets the product owner's expectations. Option C. See whether the product owner has provided enough information at the sprint planning to make his or her presence optional during the sprint. The level of autonomy within development team can be the result of having the right presence from the product owner. Option D. The product owner must always be present with the development team. Unavailability of the product owner is prohibited in Scrum. Correct answer is option C. Question is, if burn down charts are used to visualize progress, what does a trend line through a release burn down chart indicate? Option A. When all work will be completed so the Scrum team can start work on a new product backlog. Option B. When the project will be over if the product owner removes work that is equal in effort to any new work that is added. Option C. When the work remaining is projected to be completed if nothing changes on the product backlog or development team. Option D. The evaluation of the return of investment on the project. Correct answer is option C. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is, technical debt can lead to false assumptions about the current state of the system and the increment reviewed at the end of the sprint. Options are true or false. Correct answer is option A, true. Question is, select the correct Scrum team roles defined in Scrum. Option A, development team, Scrum Master, Product Owner. Option B, engineers, business analyst, product owner. Option C, stakeholders, Scrum Master, project manager, product owner. Option D, product manager, business analyst, development team, stakeholders. Correct answer is option A. Question is, a Scrum team has been working on the same product for 12 sprints. What would likely be the immediate impact on the original Scrum team if two new Scrum teams are to be added the same product? Option A, its productivity is likely to decrease. Option B, its productivity is likely to increase. Option C, its productivity is likely to stay the same. Correct answer is option A. Question is, a Scrum team must have a product owner and Scrum Master. Option A, false. A Scrum Master is only necessary when requested or needed. Option B, true. Each must be a full-time member on the Scrum team. Option C, true. Their participation and availability will impact the outcomes produced by the Scrum team. Option D, false. If a product owner is unavailable, he or she can be replaced by a business analyst. Correct answer is option C. Question is, which two behaviors would reflect servant leadership in a Scrum Master? Choose two options. Option A, facilitating Scrum events as requested or needed. Option B, coaching the development team, the product owner, and the organization on how to work empirically. Option C, staying away from internal development team interactions, maximizing their autonomy and freedom. Option D, resolving every impediment for the development team. Correct answer is option A and option B. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is, which two statements are the most accurate in regards to scaling Scrums for large projects requiring multiple Scrum teams? Choose two options. Option A, a person focusing on the sprint backlog of a single Scrum team is often more productive than that same person working on multiple Scrum teams at the same time. Option B, a well-structured product backlog can minimize and often eliminate development team members working on multiple Scrum teams during a sprint. Option C, team members must work full-time on a single Scrum team. Option D, customizing the core Scrum framework is necessary to be successful with Scrum at large scale. Correct answer is option A and option B. Question is, according to the Scrum guide, where should the daily Scrum be held? Option A, whenever the development team decides is most suitable. Option B, in a room where management can attend. Option C, in the same location where the development team is seated. Option D, in front of the Scrum board. Option E, whenever the Scrum Master decides is best. Correct answer is option A. Question is, adding more resources in Scrum will proportionally increase the value delivered. Options are true or false. Correct answer is option B, false. Question is, an organization is using Scrum to build 5 new products. What would be the best two options for the number of product owners the organization should have? Choose two options. Option A, there is one product owner for each product, so 5 in total. Each product owner may delegate, share, and align work within their individual product backlog. Option B, enough product owners to delegate as much work needed to maximize utilization of all development team members. Option C, there is one product owner responsible for all 5 products. This person is not allowed to delegate any of the product owner's responsibilities, as he or she is accountable for the success of each product. Option D, there is one product owner responsible for all 5 products. In order to scale his or her role, he or she can delegate some of the individual product owner responsibilities to others within each product, but would still remain accountable for the value of the work produced. Correct answer is option A and option D. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is, during the sprint review of a scaled development effort, each Scrum team should demonstrate its individual increment in a separate branch of the code. Options are true or false. Correct answer is option B, false. Question is, during the sprint review, one of the stakeholders announces that due to recent market changes, there is risk that funding might be reduced for the project. This triggers tensions to rise and arguments to break out between members. As a Scrum Master, what would be the best two actions to take? Option A, defend the original budget and request the stakeholders to adhere to the original agreed funding for the product. Option B, encourage the stakeholders and product owner to focus on delivering the highest value items for the next sprint. Option C, be objective and request for a short break for people to calm down. Option D, avoid getting involved as it is the product owner's responsibility to manage stakeholder expectations. Option E, inform everyone that the team needs to stay busy until the information is formally announced. Correct answer is option B and option C. Question is, in what ways does the Scrum Master keep a development team working at its highest level of productivity? Option A, by removing impediments that hinder the development team and facilitating development team decisions. Option B, by helping the development team with user acceptance tests and tracking defects. Option C, by ensuring each member takes turns speaking at the daily scrum and ending the event on the time. Option D, by keeping the scrum board and burn down chart updated daily. Correct answer is option A. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is, a development team that has remote team members typically spends time before the daily scrum to set up the meeting rooms and conference calling equipment and tools in order to have their daily scrum. How should the Scrum Master handle this situation? Option A, allow the development team to self-manage and decide for itself what to do. Option B, set up the meeting and tell the development team that is how it will be done. Option C, ask the development team members to alternate who is responsible for meeting setup. Option D, inform management and ask them to solve it. Correct answer is option A. Question is, a Scrum Master is keeping a list of open impediments, but it is growing and he or she has been able to resolve only a small portion of the impediments. Which would be the least helpful technique in this situation? Option A, consulting with the development team. Option B, prioritizing the list and working on them in order. Option C, arranging a triage meeting with all project managers. Option D, altering management to the impediments and their impact. Alerting. Correct answer is option C. Question is, what guidelines should the Scrum Master provide if the product owner asks how estimations should be done in Scrum? Option A, estimates must be made in story points. Option B, estimates must be in relative units. Option C, the development team is responsible for estimates. Option D. Estimates are made by the product owner. Option E. Estimates must follow the Fibonacci sequence. Correct answer is option C. Question is, the development team has suggested to move the daily scrum to every other day instead of every day. What is the most appropriate action for the Scrum Master to take? Option A. Learn why the development team wants this. Coach the team on why the daily scrum is important and work with them to improve the outcome of the daily scrum. Option B. Support the self-organizing team's decision. Option C. Have the development team members vote on which days the daily scrum should occur. Correct answer is option A. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is, on a project where multiple Scrum teams are working from the same product backlog, how should the work be distributed between teams? Option A. The Scrum team with the highest capacity will pull items from the product backlog first. Option B. Each Scrum team must have an equal amount of user stories per sprint. Option C. The product owner separates the product backlog items for each team. Option D. The development teams pull in work from a shared product backlog in agreement with the product owner and the other teams. Correct answer is option D. Question is, which two statements best describe a sprint goal? Choose two options. Option A. Sprint goals are defined when the completed work is reviewed at the end of a sprint. Option B. Sprint goals give the development teams flexibility and creativity on how to implement functionality during the sprint. Option C. During the sprint planning, the entire Scrum team collaboratively craft a sprint goal based on a business objective that the product owner would like to achieve that sprint. Option D. Sprint goals can change as new insights emerge during the sprint. Correct answer is option B and option C. Question is, how should a Scrum Master coordinate the work when more than one Scrum team is working on one product? Option A. Teach them that it's their responsibility to coordinate with the other teams to integrate and create a shippable product increment at the end of every sprint. Option B. Identify and manage the dependencies between Scrum teams. Option C. Have the product owner work with the tech leads of each team to pass the product backlog and minimize overlap in user stories. Option D. Merge the teams and work from a single sprint backlog. Correct answer is option A. Question is, the Scrum Master is responsible for the process in which Scrum is adopted and enacted. Options are true or false. Correct answer is option A, true. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is, a Scrum Master teaches those who are interested in the development team's progress that progress in Scrum comes from inspecting an increment at the sprint review. Options are true or false. Correct answer is option A, true. Question is, what action should a Scrum Master take if the development team has decided that retrospectives are no longer necessary? Option A. Start facilitating more productive and useful retrospectives. Option B. Suggest reducing the frequency of the retrospectives. Option C. Extend the sprint time box in order to fit the retrospectives. Option D. Comply with the team's decision. Correct answer is option A. Question is several sprints into a project, a client is complaining to the product owner about the poor performance of the product. As a Scrum Master, how can you help the product owner? Option A. Coach the product owner on effective ways to communicate this concern to the development team and encourage the product owner to add the performance issues to the product backlog. Option B. Till the product owner performance is defined by the development team. Option C. Note the issue for the next sprint retrospective. Option D. Notify the team responsible for system performance. Correct answer is option A. Question is during sprint planning, the development team was not able to confidently forecast a sprint backlog, but the Scrum team was able to create a sprint goal for upcoming sprint. What action should the Scrum Master take? Option A. Postpone the sprint in order for the product owner to refine the product backlog to the level needed. Option B. Extend the sprint planning time box until the development team can forecast enough items to begin the sprint. Option C. Forecast the most likely product backlog items to meet the goal and discuss in the upcoming sprint retrospective why this has happened and what changes will make it less likely to occur. Option D. Request assistance from the technical architect. Correct answer is option C. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is, which role would know the most about the progress toward a business objective or a release and be able to explain clearly the alternatives? Option A. The product owner. Option B. The release manager. Option C. The development team. Option D. The Scrum Master. Correct answer is option A. Question is, which role is responsible for engaging with stakeholders? Option A. The team lead. Option B. The business analyst. Option C. The project manager. Option D. The development team. Option E. The product owner. Correct answer is option E. Question is, what is a product owner responsibility that he or she might delegate? Option A. Writing user stories. Option B. Ordering the product backlog. Option C. Representing stakeholders to the Scrum team. Option D. Attending the sprint review. Correct answer is option B. Question is, which of these tools is mandatory for the product owner to use? Option A. Release burn up chart. Option B. Burn down chart. Option C. Version control. Option D. Project Gantt chart. Option E. None of the above. Correct answer is option E. Question is, which is the best description of a product owner? Option A. Requirements developer. Option B. Value optimizer. Option C. Team leader. Option D. Go between development team and stakeholders. Correct answer is option B. Question is, what activities would a product owner do during an active sprint? Option A. Engage with the stakeholders and answers from the development team. Option B. Prioritize the sprint backlog. Option C. Participate at the daily scrum. Option D. Update the burn down chart. Correct answer is option A. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is, who manages the progress of work during a sprint? Option A, the Scrum Master. Option B, the product owner. Option C, the team lead. Option D, the development team. Correct answer is option D. Question is, how much work must a development team do to a product backlog item it selects for a sprint? Option A, an equal amount of time on analysis, design, programming, testing, and documentation. Option B, as much as it has informed the product owner will be done for every product backlog item it selects in conformance with the definition of done. Option C, all development work and at least some testing. Option D, as much as it can fit into the sprint. Any remaining work will be moved to a subsequent sprint. Correct answer is option B. Question is, how often should development team membership change? Option A, frequently in order to share knowledge. Option B, as needed while taking into account a short-term reduction in productivity. Option C, never, as it conflicts with the Scrum process. Option D, as needed as long as it does not impact productivity. Correct answer is option B. Question is, what is the recommended size for a development team within the Scrum team? Option A, 3 to 9. Option B, minimal 5. Option C, 3 plus or minus 2. Option D, 9. Correct answer is option A. Question is, what development team structure is best suited to produce integrated increments? Option A, every development team has the abilities to develop functionality from beginning to end throughout all technical layers. Option B, each development team specializes in one technical layer of the system, for example, GUI, database, middle tier interfaces. Correct answer is option A. Question is, what should a development team do if it realizes it has selected too much work after starting the sprint? Option A, modify the definition of done to ensure all the product backlog items can be done by the end of the sprint. Option B, work with the product owner to remove some work or product backlog items as soon as possible. Option C, add additional team members to handle the extra work. Option D, continue working and update the product owner at the sprint review. Correct answer is option B. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is, a key measure of success for the product owner is velocity. Options are true or false. Correct answer is option B, false. Question is, part of the team's definition of done requires creating or updating technical documentation in order to maintain the product or features in the future. The team's technical writer will be on vacation during the sprint. What should you do? Option A, encourage the technical writers from other teams to form a specialized team to organize and plan the work for multiple teams. Option B, the development team members will write it as they are still responsible for creating the documentation to make the increment done in conformance with their definition of done. Option C, wait until the technical writer returns before continuing with related items. Option D, complete all development work first, while adding technical documentation to the product backlog to be done in a subsequent sprint. Correct answer is option B. Question is a cross-functional development team is defined as option A cross-skilled individuals who are able to do all the work necessary to deliver a shippable increment at the end of the sprint. Option B a team of engineers, testers, business analysts, technical architects, and functional managers. Option C a group of full-stack developers shared across multiple teams. Option D a team of skilled developers that can effectively multitask on multiple product backlog items at the same time. Correct answer is option A. Question is the Scrum Master is no longer needed when teams become self-organized. Options are true or false. Correct answer is option B false. Question is what factors are best considered when defining the sprint length? Option A how often team membership changes and the size of the development team. Option B having consistent sprint length across all Scrum teams. Option C the level of expertise over the technology to be used, ability to release an increment to the end users, and the risk of being disconnected from the stakeholders. Correct answer is option C. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is which of the following are feedback loops in Scrum? Option A daily Scrum, sprint review and sprint retrospective. Option B daily stand-up, sprint review and sprint retrospective. Option C release planning, daily Scrum and sprint review. Option D grooming, daily status and sprint review. Correct answer is option A. Question is what are typical product owner activities during sprint 0? Option A creating a project plan based on the defined timeline. Option B ensuring there is enough work to do for at least 3 sprints. Option C creating user stories based on the requirements document. Option D allocating enough resources before starting sprint 1. Option E there is no such thing as sprint. Correct answer is option E. Question is which of the following are time-boxed events in Scrum? Option A sprint planning. Option B daily Scrum. Option C sprint review. Option D sprint retrospective. Option E all of the above. Correct answer is option E. Question is which statement is correct about the length of the sprints? Option A all sprints must be 1 month or less and it is optimal to have a consistent sprint length. Option B the sprint length is dependent on the development effort forecasted, that is amount of items selected during sprint planning. Option C the sprint length is calculated by aggregating the time required to design, code, and test. Option D the sprint length is defined by the Scrum Master. Correct answer is option A. Question is the sprint length should be option A short enough to keep the business risk acceptable to the product owner. Option B short enough to be able to synchronize the development work with other business events. Option C no more than 1 month. Option D all of these answers are correct. Correct answer is option D. Question is the purpose of a sprint is to produce a potentially releasable product increment. Options are true or false. Correct answer is option A true. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe.